Summertime, I'll lose my mind at least another 1,000 times. Hold my hand tight, we'll make it another night. I still get a little scared of something new, but I feel a little safer when I'm with you. Falling doesn't feel so bad when I know you fall and miss me too. Summertime, I'll lose my mind at least another 1,000 times. Hold my hand tight, we'll make it another night. I still get a little scared of something new, but I feel a little safer when I'm with you. Falling doesn't feel so bad when I know you fall and miss me too.
All right, enough about that. Got set up my source, nice. Why do I do this to myself?
Let me put myself in your shoes as a puppet loosely strung. Around you they were so confused that a faulty man could have so much fun. They read your smile as nothing but teeth. They looked at you with pity first, then disbelief. Let me put myself in your shoes as a puppet loosely strung. They may think they'd never choose to be the man that you'd become. You never felt the need to conform. We get drunk or high to feel what you felt since you were born. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. Let me put myself in your shoes as a puppet loosely strung. Did you feel the weight of others' views, or was their ignorance a source of fun? I hated the whispers in the street until you'd impose a greeting, pulling the rug beneath their feet. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. In the past you would have been seen as a family's disgrace. Now they think you're putting on a brave face. They might fear that one day they'll wear your shoes, but you're the one who's laughing. You had nothing to lose. They just couldn't see that it was me needing you, not you needing me. They just couldn't see that a puppet loosely strung is how I now wanna be. They just couldn't see that it was me needing you, not you needing me. They just couldn't see that a puppet loosely strung is how I now wanna be. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. I'm tired of so many things I don't need to do. I'll loosen my strings to feel more like you. They just couldn't see that it was me needing you, not you needing me. They just couldn't see that a puppet loosely strung is how I now wanna be.
tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. I believe that you're wrong, insinuating they hold the bomb, clearing the way for the oil brigade, clearing the way for the oil brigade. I believe that you're wrong, insinuating they hold the bomb, clearing the way for the oil brigade, clearing the way for the oil brigade. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. Antidepressants, controlling tools of your system, making life more tolerable, making life more tolerable. I believe that you're wrong, insinuating they hold the bomb, clearing the way for the oil brigade, clearing the way for the oil brigade. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. We don't need your hypocrisy, execute real democracy, post-industrial society, the unthinking majority. I believe that you're wrong, insinuating they hold the bomb, clearing the way for the oil brigade, clearing the way for the oil brigade.
Have you ever heard a calling? But you don't know where the sound is coming from. Sometimes love is talking in a whisper. Do you ever feel like falling?
Good God. Good God, man.
For someone
Oh, I forgot I was playing music. Nice. Okay. I still haven't got this set up. My wife poisoned me, and I spent the last like fucking minutes in the bathroom. So, browser needs to go game cap. Of course, I don't know. Hmm. Um,
If you've been on the internet in the past 5 years, you'll know the name Belle Delphine, as the young adult star's antics of selling gamer girl bathwater, supposedly getting arrested, and graphic videos propelled her.
we're just gonna do it. That'll work for now. Okay. I saw this video. And it'll be a little off. That's fine. That's that. Okay. I saw this video and I remember this girl. And I don't ever know what happened to her. She just disappeared from the internet one day. But back when I was on social media, I don't have social medias anymore, but back when I was on social medias, this girl was popping up all the time. And her name is Belle Delphine. And is that a fucking knock? What is that? It's got little. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I just one day she disappeared, and so I'm kind of interested to see what happened. Gamer from Mars made a video, so I thought we could maybe go through it together.
Delphine, as the young adult star's antics of selling gamer girl bathwater, supposedly getting arrested, and graphic videos propelled her to notoriety. Despite all the success, though, I haven't seen anyone truly go through the woman's history to discover what is the real story behind her enigmatic persona, with many wondering if there's a mystery man behind the whole performance pulling the strings. Well, after over 100 hours of research, I'll do my best to break down the true story of Miss Delphine, with the truth actually being quite surprising. But before we get to that, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Mary Belle Kushner, Belle Delphine's birth name, was born in Cape Town, South Africa on October 23rd, 19...
Okay, that's already... So apparently I knew nothing about this girl. I didn't know she was from South Africa. This is actually a fucking very nice looking place.
99. For the first 11 years of her life, Belle lived in the turbulent country. Theft, stolen cars, and home invasions were all common occurrences where they lived. That being said, Belle claims that with her child eyes, everything about South Africa seemed idealistic, with beautiful gardens and beaches. While she reminisces positively about the stunning natural features, the same cannot be said for her home situation. Her parents had met on a photo shoot where her mother, who was originally from the UK, had flown to South Africa to model. They quickly fell into a turbulent relationship that resulted in a surprise pregnancy. The couple was put under pressure due to the fact that Belle's mother's visa was expiring. In a desperate attempt to do the noble thing, they married so that the two could stay together and try to make it work for their unborn child. Young Belle...
That's already kind of an issue. So I notice a lot of things, especially myself included, when parents end up getting pregnant from like a fling or something, and they don't seem to get along. I don't know if that's the case with this situation, but with problems like that, like if I mean, I don't know how the culture or the laws are down in South Africa, but in some cases it's better off just to not have the kid. I know it goes against, like I said, a lot of culture things, a lot of religious things, and that could be, you know, personal problems or something like that. But forcing a relationship between two people just for the sake of a kid almost always ends up things being worse for the kid. I said, from my personal experience, that's already some like possible issues.
Belle grew up feeling like she was walking on eggshells around her father. She recounts that he would constantly make fun of her for her interests and would refuse to hold her school bag because it was pink.
He's just a huge asshole, and he was always very you know, no jokes. So
I'm also realizing just now, I don't think I've ever heard her talk. Is she doing an accent, or is that like she grew up in South Africa? Yeah. Why does she have a British accent? Did it said her mom was from there?
serious.
Their relationship was really rough. They fought like a lot. And I think
I don't know why this is blowing my mind. I've never heard her talk before. I always thought, I mean, honestly, I thought she was American.
growing up around like, I don't know, violence a lot was really I don't know, it's kind of strange.
As these fights became more and more violent, eventually the young mother took her daughter back to the UK, divorcing
why.
shortly thereafter.
That makes sense now.
There, 11-year-old Belle would begin to see more of her mom's side of the family, who were very conservative and religious. Her mother was considered to be the rebellious child and felt the need to parent as the cool mom. For Belle, this meant that her caretaker never asked where she was going, and the young girl could disappear for days on end.
This is another good thing to note here is when so you have the religious conservative aspect of things, and with that there always tends to be like a period of rebellion, and then doubled up by the mom wanting to be the cool mom. And I mean, I just consider it negligence, but not keeping track of your kids always leads to them in pretty bad situations, even if it's not intended. It's just they kind of grow up thinking they can do whatever they want without any kind of repercussions because they don't experience repercussions from their parents. And so this, I mean, some of the stuff is already starting to make sense with the kind of the way her life went until, like, you know, a couple years ago before she, I guess, left the internet.
Things got so extreme that at 13, Belle took a train to London where she met up with a 25-year-old man from the internet and spent the day with him. Although Belle claims that nothing inappropriate happened between the two, this meet could have ended terribly.
And then you grow up
I'm going to let her talk here, but I was going to bring up a point about that.
as an adult and you're like, my mom didn't care.
With no
That's kind of what I'm saying right there, is like with a kid who's properly mentored and guided, they don't understand situations like that are not normal. If you teach a kid that, hey, you're not supposed to talk to people who's much older than you, it's kind of weird for people older than you to try to get involved with your life, they'll just see it as like, oh, this is a person I met, I'm going to be friends with this person. And that can very easily lead into like predatory situations.
adult guidance, she turned to the internet as a source of nurturing, having claimed several times that YouTube raised her. Belle would spend 13 hours a day scouring the web, shaping her identity through self-proclaimed edgelords such as iDubbbz and Filthy Frank.
First off, great picture of Filthy Frank. Also, way better picture of iDubbbz. And if you guys don't know that, I don't know if that video is still on the internet. I think iDubbbz might have deleted that video, but basically this girl here said the N-word, and I think she was covering it up or something, and then he found out about it and then met up with her, and then as the picture went on, for like, instead of say cheese, he said say the N-word, and she just ran away from him.
Her identity through self-proclaimed edgelords such as iDubbbz and Filthy Frank.
It's about that time!
These YouTubers developed Belle's sense of humor, and at the same time, she was also drawn to anime, another staple of online culture. She would join online message boards and eventually met up with individuals in real life. The thing is, these online chat rooms were not full of other 13-year-olds, but rather older men. Belle and her
Yeah.
friends would hang out with these 30-year-olds.
Yeah, that's another thing is online chat rooms were almost always a bad time for kids because it's another situation. Can I talk, dog? Okay. It's another thing where especially younger on or earlier on in chat rooms, it wasn't kids using those chat rooms, right? It was mostly adults and some kids found their way into it. So if you found your way into a chat room, you're most likely going to be talking with adults, especially in the anime scene, because that's already kind of like a weird. I think it's worse now. There's a lot of more. They call it fan service, but it's appeasing to gross fan base and getting caught up in stuff like that. And you're gonna put yourself in weird situations.
Flattered by the attention. This sort of behavior resulted in her cheating on her first boyfriend by kissing a man in his 30s at a concert.
But in the UK, it was a really big thing for
So-
like 25-year-olds to be dating 14-year-olds. So like all my friends in like
Really?
this type of community,
Ugh.
yeah, it really, really was.
Perhaps because she was drawn to older people from a young age, Belle has admitted to not having many school friends because she was a quote-unquote weirdo and had a thick South African accent. The small English town was not very receptive towards her, but that didn't stop Belle from trying to fit in and impress her peers. She would
Yeah, I'm getting schooled by my wife. She's going to school to be a psychologist. She said, just to note, when a child is neglected, they will seek attention where they can get it. It's a psychological thing. People are meant to be in relationships such as friends, family, etc. But when that is not involved, that leads to bad situations, like you mentioned. She's the smart one.
purposefully fall off playground swings, injuring herself to make the kids laugh. Further, the boys at school liked Belle at first. However, this all changed when they realized she had obsessive tendencies. This was displayed in the form of her giving out strange gifts such as helicopters and large teddy bears.
Okay, you sound like you're putting an effort for these
Mhm.
boys. You used to be the
Yeah,
sim.
like, yeah, I totally used to be the sim.
Despite her attempts to interact with her peers, the online community truly understood her best. She used it as an
Yeah, going with the gift thing and the obsessive. So, understanding, I'll say that now because I know my wife is listening now. To my understanding, when kids are neglected, when they're neglected and they start building minor connections among peers, they usually become very obsessive with it because they want to latch onto it and not lose it, especially if they have, like she mentioned, not growing up with a lot of parental, I don't know what that was, a lot of parental guidance, kind of like the lonely child syndrome. They'll go hard and get attached fast when it comes to relationships. It's okay, Mochi, it's just the trash people.
escape from her mother, whose drinking problem persisted in the UK. The effects of this issue played into Belle's choice to abstain from alcohol when her older boyfriends offered it. This was for the best and may have helped Belle
Ugh.
stay out of even more trouble. But before
Yeah.
we go any further in today's video, I think it should be pointed out that people like Miss
Ad
Delphine
time.
or even myself deal with a lot of threats involving doxing and swatting, which is why today's
For now.
sponsor is Delete Me.
But yeah, that's
Whether
another
you're
danger
someone with
about
millions of subscribers or
deleting
just an
or
average
deleting
internet
fucking
user, your
that
identity
ad just
isn't
blown
personal.
itself to my
You may
mind.
not know, but there are a lot of websites out there with your
Relating
personal
yourself with
information,
older
including your
people,
full name,
there's a lot of
number, and
manipulation
things like
tactics
address.
like
So the concept
alcohol
behind
and
Delete
drug
Me is pretty
feeding.
simple. You provide them your personal information,
It's
they
kind
can
of like a
scrub the internet
cycle,
to
or not a
find
cycle, but
websites
it's a
with
way
your
to like
information, and then they
abuse,
would demand those
make it
websites
easier
be
to
taken all
abuse
down.
younger people.
I've used this service myself, and they have successfully deleted my information off of
Swear,
dozens of
after this stream, my
websites.
wife is gonna ring me out on all the shit I got
Data
wrong.
and help you protect yourself from the risks of identity theft, stalking, and harassment. So to try out this service for yourself and get 20% off of the consumer plan, I encourage you to click the description down below and use code GAMER at checkout. This is truly a service I encourage everyone to use. With a turbulent home life, a desire to spend her time online, and no one to make her go to school, Belle's attendance was disastrous. To save her grades, her mother even agreed to let her transfer and start fresh somewhere new. However, social media ended up ruining her chances of a clean break. You see, Belle loved Facebook and would post and comment on the site often. Someone from her old school shared a post about cancer, with Belle saying, "I love cancer because I get to go to Disney." As she tells the story, after attending just one day at the new school, kids found her online joke, with her subsequently being harassed about the comments, leading her to be treated for depression. Belle went through the trouble of printing out every mean comment
Treated for
and forcing
depression
her
for
mother
that?
to read each one. This resulted in Belle dropping out at the age of 14, which might I add is illegal in the UK, but she was never caught due to the messy transfer, so she ended up slipping through the cracks. Now not needing a formal education, Belle was free to pursue her internet obsession without constraints. She started to post photo shoots on her Facebook before turning to Instagram in 2015. There she began exploring Japanese fashion, building up her confidence enough
That's
to step
fucking
out
creepy.
in public and
The
outlandish
eyebrows.
costumes. This was all very shocking to her small English town. As she became more comfortable with the judgmental glares from neighbors, Belle decided to move in with her boyfriend. Despite
It's like community alienation mixed with gathering attention from strangers online. It's kind of already building that pattern.
only being 15. She never stated this man's age, but considering he had his own place, I'll assume he was much older. It was between the ages of 15 and 17, free from her mother, Belle began to build up an audience online of mostly young girls like herself. She made a YouTube page in 2016 and posted makeup tutorials.
I've had a few people ask me how I do my makeup, so I thought I'd just make a quick and easy video of how I do it.
Despite having a small following, the aspiring content creator realized she was never going to make anything of herself from just clothing content. During this time, Belle worked as a barista and waitress to make money. The young dropout knew that her options were limited, so with her passions revolving around the internet, she went back to the drawing board for a career path. With this, she realized the easiest thing she could do to get attention would be to share sexual photos of herself. But selling lewd content wasn't good enough on its own, as she...
This makes me it's popped in my head, but it kind of, I wonder if she's gonna follow the pattern, like getting into like the not safe for work scene really early on, like after you turn 18, pretty young, and then going back and regretting it later. I don't know if that's why she disappeared off the internet or not. He's kind of like with what's that rapper's name? Bad Bunny. She made an OnlyFans like a week or two after she turned 18, and made a bunch of money and like did all that for a couple years, and then now is mad that she did that, and basically called everybody who signed up for her OnlyFans a predator, because they're like, oh, they're kind of like it's like preying on like a really young person. And yeah, you can make that argument. It's very, very easily possible to make that argument, but at the same time, it's like she kind of did it. She did it to herself, but she did do it to herself, and so now she regrets it. I don't know if she's gonna follow that blueprint, but it seems kind of common.
She wanted to find an interesting spin on the format. This is when she had an epiphany. No one shares what adult content they watch with their friends. However, they might share an image of a hot girl if it was strange enough on its own merit. Belle needed to find the balance between being both sexy and memeable, so that she would have a shot at going viral. The next piece of the jigsaw to fall in place was when Belle met her current partner in 2017, and shared her desire to make money off of the internet. He must have been on board with this, because 6 months later, after her 18th birthday, Belle's content turned much more racy. The young woman also decided to explore herself more sexually with her boyfriend by attending swinger parties. She admits to never swapping partners, but it was a turn-on enough to just be in the same
at
room
18,
with other
that's
couples.
That's
this
rough.
experience drove her to start posting even more suggestive content, but not without a catch. Playing into her desire to be lusted after, she wore minimal clothing, along with odd additions such as pink wigs and cat ears, describing the look as the
I actually didn't know that these were wigs. I thought that she just dyed her hair.
kitty girl aesthetic.
I know it's like a really small thing, but I know this girl. I knew nothing about this girl other than she was like kind of weird and posted a lot of suggestive stuff.
She drove men wild with her ability to contort her face into the ahegao expression, colloquially referred to as the anime orgasm face.
I'm not sure if this is true or not. I know I'm fucking pausing a lot, but how did he pronounce that?
Ahegao. She drove men wild with her ability to contort her face into the ahegao expression.
Yeah, ahegao. So at first I thought this face was pretty. It made me laugh. Honestly, I didn't think this face was attractive at all. I thought it was funny. And I know a lot of people liked it. And one person back when I had Facebook had mentioned that they also thought it was weird. Mostly because I guess that face came from adult comic where it was a relationship between a girl, like a really young girl, like I think in the thing she's like fucking 13 or 14, and her own like father, which kind of made me not like this. I know this is totally off topic, but when I found that out, again, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but when I found that out, it made me hate basically anybody who did that face.
Colloquially referred to as the anime orgasm.
It's cringe to me.
Belle walked the line between bizarre and sexy, which became a huge hit. Swiftly, her demographic changed from young girls to over 85% men. The year of 2018 went spectacularly for the young woman as her strange idea of weird sexy worked its magic, and her image was shared far and wide across pages, such as Reddit and 4chan, where she was considered a genius. It was on these corners of the internet that she began to collect die-hard fans that many would soon call her army of simps.
Yeah,
now
that's another thing. Getting a following base from 4chan and Reddit is not. It's not good communities to get your backing from.
It's time to monetize, when later that year she launched a premium Snapchat costing $50 a month, and a Patreon where she interacted with her fans.
I think was another thing was the problem with her and issues I had with her was that she would kind of Photoshop herself to look younger. And again, like I said, getting your following from 4chan and Reddit, two places not known to be like the most, to be, full of the most morally high ground people. So she would kind of, I almost want to say she was preying on the predators, where she would Photoshop herself to look younger than she actually is, just to garner more attention in those spaces. Because those people will pay money for things that they like, and the things they like are usually illegal. So if they can get it for a high premium, for instance, like $50 a month for just some lewd stuff. I don't know if she did full nudity or anything like that, but it's it was weird to me. I'm remembering all this shit now. I hadn't thought about this girl in years, but yeah, wearing fake braces to make yourself, because usually when you have braces, you're younger, yeah, it was just a weird time for me, and people who found her attractive or liked her and her stuff like that, I distanced myself pretty hard from them.
Received so much attention that even Rolling
You texting
Stone
me again?
describing her as an
Hello,
alien
babe.
Disney princess porn star. Her pricing for her exclusive material varied from $1 a month to the outrageous sum of $2,500. Paying the top tier would allow the customer to access every one of her photos, more exclusive behind-the-scenes shots, and
Holy
a one-on-one
shit.
Skype session.
$2,500 a month?
It's unclear how many people actually paid this sum, with the only person fessing up being YouTuber Will NE, who wrote it off as a business expense for a video.
And then there's King, which is $1,000
Oh my
a month.
god.
King of my world, that fucking better be for $1,000.
Yeah, I want a fucking engagement ring with that.
The YouTuber claimed to not be interested in any of her explicit
Much.
content, but rather reached out to her to ask for help to get back at an enemy. He believed that using Belle's army of followers, he could outdo his nemesis.
Here, I'm gonna read this text real quick. Up. This is going back like 10 minutes ago, so I don't. Oh, I think this was involving the me mentioning that the like, lonely child syndrome thing. She says yes, they'll become very influenced, and yes, they will attach to people easily. This is why people will fall in love with bad people and get in abusive relationships. They will take the love and affection where they can get it, even if harm is involved. They can also lead to alcohol and drug use or selling their body. They become easy prey for predators. Yeah, it's a bad time.
Jill Hudson, a mama fellow YouTuber Morgs, in their competition for subscribers. To his surprise, Belle actually responded to this and sent a very controversial video back.
Rise up, people. We need to stop Morg's mum.
Jesus Christ! What is that?
With stunts such as these, by 2019, Miss Delphine had amassed 4.2 million followers, who were eating up her quirky and suggestive publicity stunts, with many defending it as a form of performance art.
I don't know if that's an editing style. Did she actually have almost 1 billion followers? No, there's no way.
She would wear short skirts and make sexual faces while eating raw
No,
eggs, or playing
that
with
is
an
an
octopus
octopus.
that she had stuck googly eyes on, all
Fucking weird.
for the sake of attention. People online could not get
That's
enough
so
of
weird.
this strange and mysterious individual whose original post seems so unhinged. She described her work as farming content for YouTubers who reacted to things
Hey
online.
JK, what's up,
A
man?
perfect
I see you
symbiotic
make it.
relationship.
Are you how are you feeling? I know yesterday was your birthday. Did you do the traditional 21-year-old celebration?
That's not to say everyone was a fan of Belle.
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah.
The Whore of Babylon has a cup full of liquid, by the way, in gold, the gold cup full of liquid that she offers the world.
Really?
Absolutely.
With her growing fame, it was not surprising that some would try to expose any scandals she had been involved in. Indigo White, an adult content creator who recently transitioned to be a man, had attempted to expose Belle for posting sexual content while being underage
that's a
in
good boy.
2017. Now, just a heads up, this story is a bit convoluted, so I'm going to try to break it down the best I can. This tale began when a mysterious man reached out to Belle with a way to make quick money selling nudes, but the 17-year-old wasn't interested because of her age. However, the man had an idea to ease her fears. He wanted Belle to scour Tumblr for random girls' nudes and use them as her own to sell.
I forgot about this. This was another thing that was a big controversy with her because she got accused of stealing people's nudes and selling them as her own, which of course she was 17 at the time, so a lot of people jumped on it because, again, the whole predator aspect of her whole online persona.
Online for a profit. It's fucking easy. I feel uncomfortable doing that though. Horny old dudes will pay for anything. I'm not desperate enough. I never said you had to actually sell your nudes. Just think of it as a more rewarding than normal hobby. From these screenshots, it seems clear that the man is
I don't know if she
attempting
actually
to
did or
manipulate
not. That's just
Belle
something I
into
heard.
going along with what he wants, downplaying the severity of stealing someone's image. He took her desire to travel and convinced the teen to partake in the scam. Belle alleges that she only did this for 3 months, and that in that
Okay, so
short
she did do
time,
it.
the young girl got to know
That's
the man
fucked.
well
That's really
enough
fucked
for
up.
him to confess to his addiction to opioids. Should I get high on Xanax? No, you said you haven't for a while, so why start now? You're not usually stressed or sad. After she ended her business relationship with this man, Belle would become famous
Business
2 years
relationship.
later. But at this time, one woman, Minty Darling, realized that Belle had stolen her X-rated photos in her scheme and went public with the claim in September of 2018.
Hey there, dog.
The internet sensation reached out to the wronged sex worker, even offering her what money she made off of the scam.
That's no, that's sorry, I just saw I know it's like you're trying to make it better by offering the money you made off of this girl. But I don't that obviously doesn't make it right.
Belle
It's,
explained that she
fix.
was in desperate need of cash, but didn't want to post her own nudes and was too lazy to get a job, and trusted the man she was working with. Minty turned down the cash and wanted Belle to make a public apology, but the request was ignored. When Belle's fans
The fuck is this? Best streamers. Hey, how about you go fuck yourself? Some of my chaps fucking spanning his shit.
And started picking up the story, the young internet star panicked and reached out again to Minty, pleading with her to release a public message saying all was forgiven. Minty declined this offer, feeling Belle needed to pay for the consequences of her actions. Shortly after this, a Facebook post trashing Belle began circling the internet by a woman named Katarina Moon. Allegedly, Belle reached out to this woman and asked for her help on how to deal with the Minty situation. This person then turned on her and released a lengthy post titled Belle Delphine is cancelled, where she slammed the star for all of her wrongdoings. By the time Indigo White released their video, the YouTuber basically encapsulated everything being said, but made the story a bit more cohesive.
Thank you, JK. It actually wouldn't let me ban that person from my side for some reason. Don't know why it wouldn't let me do that, but yeah. Good mod. Praise the mod.
Indigo didn't just talk about the stolen nudes, but called Belle a scammer for advertising like she was going to post real explicit content, but was actually censoring the majority of her pictures. Additionally, they brought up the rumor that Belle had stolen underage girls' nudes and sold those as well, though there's no proof of that claim. It's also interesting that Indigo has since removed the video trashing Belle from his YouTube channel for reasons unknown. Despite this huge scandal and threats of legal action, nothing ever came to fruition. The situation seems convoluted enough that a majority of Belle's fans were not even aware of the situation, let alone upset about it. Besides a brief period of stress, the young star came
Interesting. I kind of want to know what the mindset behind that was. Like, I'm sure, you know, she's young and she kind of got herself in a situation where she didn't know how to get out of it, and so she was trying to seek help for it. But I mean, especially maybe I don't know what the time span of this was, but I know like nowadays, like if you fuck something up, like you just sweep it under the rug. You don't acknowledge it at all, because if you try to get help or advice on fixing something, like you're just adding to someone else's like expose video on you. So this is a really interesting take, and like I said, I guess it's probably just a matter of like back then things were different. But I mean, I think this is 2018, 2017 maybe. Like I think Leafy was here and all of them were kind of big at the time, so I feel like maybe she should have known better, but
drama unscathed, and began brainstorming new ways to get more people talking about her in a more unique light. With her fame growing, Belle turned her focus to the idea of selling creator products. While every other YouTuber at the time wanted to sell personal merch in the form of
Suki,
t-shirts,
I have some of their socks on, they're really comfortable.
At first, she pondered the idea of selling her hair, but realized it wasn't sustainable and had been done before. This is when genius struck after she saw a simp comment that they wanted to drink the water she bathed in. Belle ran with the idea,
God, I
why
forgot
not,
about
bottled
this.
any soapy liquid, adding a colorful pink label titled Gamer Girl Bathwater. She then started advertising on social media, but I can't imagine she knew that this would become the biggest publicity stunt of her entire career.
So yeah, a lot of OnlyFans girls do this now. They'll sell their bath water, like their used water, and that I think that actually like created a whole genre of like money making schemes out of these types of people, because like I've seen that. Oh, JK, thanks for the bits. Okay, Mochi says hello. Like girls selling their bathwaters, they'll sell like their fucking toenail clippings. There's one girl who was like, Mochi, stop snoring so loudly. There's one girl who's selling like jars that they farted in, which is disgusting. But I remember seeing actual in real time live updated, like I was sitting in front row seats on social media. like dudes and their girlfriends fighting in comments because like the girl posted like I can't believe my fucking boyfriend bought this, and the dude's like, oh no, I just bought it for like the joke, me and my friends, it's all a meme to us. And then like then other girls getting involved with, and it was like a humongous argument. And I just, for like a whole day and a half, I sat there and just watched this shit unfold. This water is not for drinking, it should only be used for sentimental purposes. Yeah, someone actually did the math on this too, about like the average water amount in a bath, like the how much she was selling it for and how much was in a single jar, and she versus like how much she paid for the water herself, and it was like over 1,000,000% she made off of this.
Even with the high price of $35 for
Again,
a jar,
JK, thanks for the
Bell
bits. I
quickly
appreciate it.
sold out to the 600 plus containers. It was covered on every side of the internet, even getting mainstream media coverage. People found the stunt both disgusting and
Come on, Motion.
genius. Popular YouTubers
No.
bought the jars, with some drinking the water and others vaping it.
You cannot vape water. Oh no. That's how you get pneumonia.
Bath water.
With all the money seemingly coming in, it's not a surprise that the internet took things too far, claiming that the water could give you herpes, leading to hospitalization.
That was
and
another thing I
patient
forgot.
zero of COVID-19. While on the surface it seemed like an easy way to get rich quick, Belle's later revelation shattered those expectations. You see, when she created the labels, she forgot to add a disclaimer on the product.
I haven't heard any mention of this lady in so long. Yeah, that's why I actually I wanted to bring this up, is because like she, like, I never liked her. I tried my hardest to not keep up with her, but there was like a lot of social media fanaticism, and she just disappeared, and I just didn't notice her, because that's kind of what I wanted to begin with, was her to be out of my feeds, and like want to stop talking about her. And I saw this video pop up, and I was like, fuck, I actually forgot about this girl, and I kind of wanted to see what happened to her, just out of curiosity.
This meant that the gamer girl could be liable if someone drank the water and became sick. In a panic, she quickly emailed everyone that purchased the jars and had them sign disclaimers before she sent it out. After this big headache, she was able to eventually get people their packages, and most believed that this would be the end of the story. However, in May of 2024, she came clean with the whole situation. Belle took to Twitter explaining that she had violated PayPal's terms of service, resulting in a $2,500 fine for each infraction. This means she lost all the money she made, totaling $90,000. When Belle pushed back, PayPal refused to give her the reason she was fined. Despite this cash loss, Belle kept true to her fans and mailed all the bathwater out of her own pocket. After
I mean, that's kind of cool that she decided to go with that. Hold on here. By doing it, start from the end. It's been a couple years now. I can finally share the biggest L I've taken, and then I not earn any money selling my bathwater. Lost money doing it. PayPal without any warning closed my PayPal account and took the $90,000 that I earned from selling my bathwater. There's nothing I could do. I tried phoning them up, and they said, sorry, nothing we can do. I knew it would be a better news story to say that I made so much money from selling my bathwater. I just kept this secret. Really, I'm still glad I did it. Since it was really fun time on the internet when it still did mail out all the yeah, that's fucked. Having that, I remember this was a huge issue with PayPal early on, is they would close people's accounts and just take the money they had in there. Because usually it was smaller amounts and it's not worth it to go over court with it. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. I don't want to slander Elon Musk or that, but from what I've heard, how PayPal made its money early on.
Belle kept true to her fans and mailed all the bathwater out of her own pocket. After going public with the problem, PayPal at first refused to comment, but Belle's fans didn't let up and continued to push for an answer. This resulted in mainstream news sites picking up the story, such as Business Insider and NBC News. They criticized PayPal for its actions, even saying that they were notorious for being...
I believe she's the one that had a contest with Moist Critical to see who owned more dildos. Yeah, I forgot Moist Critical did the whole sex toy era where he just kept buying more and more and like was trying to develop martial arts based around different different adult toys. It was a weird time on his channel.
Being an untrustful service that
It's good that they
discriminated
kind of
against
had
sex
like a
workers, getting them in hot bath water
good
with many civil
interaction
rights
like that.
groups. Eventually, mounting social pressure gave way and Bell got the money back after the company stated that they had reversed their terms of service.
That's surprising. For a company to, I mean, she broke the terms of service as far as she is considered. I don't know if they said this was considered sex work, what you're not allowed to use PayPal for. But her breaking the terms of service and losing all her money, and then PayPal reversing that and just giving it to her anyways. Like, I mean, that's the right thing you do, right? Even if she, like, if it was like $100 or something like that, you know, that's understandable. You're just gonna take that. But 90 grand is a lot of money to take from someone, even if they did break your terms of service. Like that, how that should have been handled, in my opinion, was they should have just paid that out to her and closed her account. That would have been that. Like, this would have been no problem at all. But to see that they actually reversed it was after so many years was impressive. Yeah, so this happened in 2019 and they reversed it 2024, 5 years later. That's super surprising.
Why she hadn't called out the company sooner, but it appears she kept it a secret to preserve the allure. This really goes to show just how dedicated Belle was to keeping her persona alive. Following the bathwater stunt, Belle had more attention around her name than ever before. She continued to post lewd but not actually nude photos on her Patreon. That is until she decided to do something more extreme and announced that she would be creating a hub account. All of her fans went wild with the news, readying their hand lotion and tissues as her supposed adult content was announced
thank
to
you.
drop
Welcome
in
to the stream. I think this is actually your first time in the stream, but welcome.
Unfortunately for them, Belle had a special surprise.
Okay,
You
Mochi, come
see,
down.
The young woman had captivated her fans' attention for months.
My dog
but
is
when
snoring.
the countdown came to a close,
Yes,
they
I'm
were
talking
left
about you.
disappointed, as there wasn't anything
You
explicit
move around?
released, but instead just puns. Fans clicked on a video titled Belle Delphine Plays with Her Pussy, which would just show her petting a stuffed cat. Another named PewDiePie Goes All the
I
Way
remember
inside.
this. She ate the picture of PewDiePie. There it is. I don't know if my mic cut out or not. The dog just hit it. She tends to do that, and then my mic cuts out because my cable sucks. She ate a picture of PewDiePie, and I think she was doing it every day until PewDiePie ate a picture of her. I don't know if was this one or if she did that to someone else.
Belle Delphine was just the young woman sitting in a room and eating a photograph of the YouTuber. The misleading titles caused millions to leave disappointed and sexually frustrated. To be fair, Belle never said that she was going to post anything explicit, but of course everyone just assumed the worst, or best I guess. Hundreds
I think, sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but I think this actually caused another trend of people on the porn websites. I don't know if I can say porn. Corn. That's what we're supposed to say now. People on corn websites had started posting like their YouTube videos, like trying to make a YouTube presence on porn websites. I can't hear anything on here. I promise I'm not. Wait, can you guys hear me at all? Is there? I don't know if that's just him or me. My mic's on. Yeah, it's showing my mic is picking up. But yeah, people are trying to make like YouTube presence on corn websites, just to try to garner attention. I don't know how well that worked or not, but it's definitely something interesting. You can hear it. You can hear it too. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm not want to be sitting here talking to the void. And
of her most deranged and unsatisfied simps felt the need to get back at the young woman. In retaliation for being fooled, they began to flag her Instagram page endlessly for violating guidelines. On top of this, there was a bizarre claim that Belle was not paying her taxes, despite there being no evidence of such. The lack
my God, I'm remembering so many things. So this was another thing people were doing, not just to her, but to like everybody who had like like premium Snapchats. I don't know if OnlyFans was a thing at this time or not, but they would figure out these people, right? So their premium Snapchats or their OnlyFans or whatever else they were doing. And they would report them to the IRS because the IRS has almost like a bounty hunter system where if you report someone who's not paying their taxes, they track this person down and then they audit them, right? They audit them, they make them show all their earnings, and then they charge them for the taxes. They would have to pay a fee, and then you would get a percentage of the fee or of the taxes they recovered, which led to people like one story I saw was there was a kid who was like 14 years old, and he made like almost $20,000 in 1 year just reporting people's like Snapchat premiums. And I'm assuming, I don't know if OnlyFans was a thing back then or at this time, but their OnlyFans and stuff like that, getting those people audited and then just making a bunch of money off of reporting these. I think they called them IRS rats, but yeah, it was it's a good time.
Of proof didn't stop a deranged stalker from finding her house, posting the address online, and leaving a handwritten note on her door.
She's got interest commentary. Yeah, Mochi. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's loud.
Did little to help, only blurring the house on Google Maps, resulting in Belle moving for safety reasons. Speaking of unwell internet users, in another instance, Belle refused to take the money from a mentally ill simp that she felt bad for. The individual sent her Lilo and Stitch merchandise, along with his passport, credit cards, and psychiatric appointments. Eventually, Belle did...
I mean, it's good that she didn't take his money, because there's a lot of people who would have absolutely done that.
Get the police involved because she feared for the man's health. None of this deterred her from work, though, as she would continuously message 50 to 100 different top patrons every day. The young lady has been pretty supportive of her fans reaching out, as she would explain that most of her simps are between the ages of 21 and 28, and often on the autistic spectrum. Belle was happy to Skype these individuals despite the
Imagine your favorite e-girl fucking insults you.
occasional crazy until the murder.
Actually, no, now that I'm thinking about it, there's probably a lot of fucking degenerates who would love that.
A fellow e-girl, Bianca Devins, in July of 2019, when a deranged man believed that they were in a relationship.
Fuck, I remember this. This is sad.
Disturbing on its own.
For anybody who doesn't know about Bianca Devins, she met someone, I think, on Discord. Maybe it was Instagram down there. But she had talked to someone online, and he had begun to think that they were in a relationship, which to my understanding they weren't. And she went to a concert and she invited this guy because I guess he kind of lived nearby or something like that, or near to the concert. Excuse me. But she invited him, and then she was there to see another dude who, like, I guess she had a romantic relationship or interest in. And when the dude had asked her if they can go talk, she agreed, and then he kind of like was like, hey, I thought we were saying, and she was kind of dodgy because I guess, you know, she didn't like him like that or something like that. And when she expressed that there was nothing between them, he ended up stabbing her in the neck, and then repeatedly stabbed her in the neck so many times that she was almost beheaded, which was really, really fucked up. And this girl was like, I think she was like 15 or 16, and this dude was Brandon Clark. He was 21. Yeah, he fucking straight up killed this girl really young, and it was really fucked up. It was a really, really fucked up story.
Deranged man believed that they were in a relationship with the young woman. While disturbing on its own, Belle was deeply affected when someone posted that she should be next, with the tweet receiving over 1,000 likes. Miss Delphine underestimated how far she could push the unruly internet mob. It was around this time that the multiple reports on her Instagram from scorned fans finally worked, and on July 19th of 2019, her account was deleted. This had a massive impact on Belle mentally and financially, as in a single moment she had lost a huge part of her social media standing.
When my Instagram got taken down, I was like,
That's it.
Feeling that her online
Still
empire
weirds
had
me out that she's
imploded,
fucking
she decided to
British
log
accent. I
off
thought
the
she was
internet.
not
Her plan
British.
was to reevaluate her life, leading her to not check
I don't
any
think British
social
people are
media
real.
for a prolonged period
She's
of
South
time,
African, I guess.
focusing instead on family. And there were some hard realities that Belle had to face. The young woman had just bought her first house using the Patreon money. And with this, Belle was incredibly proud of herself and felt the desire to reconnect with her father. After reaching out to him, he came from South Africa to visit and met her partner. This reunion started off well, but her dad was suspicious about
British accents hit my brain hard. My God, yeah, yeah, it really does. Like, there's okay, so like the British accent has many paths, right? So you have Ground Zero, which is like Great Britain. You have English, which is like it's kind of like the plague cousin, right? Like they're really closely related. You have stuff like British Columbia. Wait, what the fuck did I say British Columbia for? Australia, which is basically British. And no matter what seasoning gets put on that accent, I can only hear one accent,
how
and it
Belle
always
was
fucks with my
able to
mind.
afford such a nice home. After completing a
This
Google
cat say.
search, he became enraged. The man did not approve of her lifestyle, and after leaving, sent hurtful messages. It was at this moment that the e-girl realized there was
The community psychologist, I'll call her, says people who have obsessions create fantasy worlds, and when that is disrupted, such as rejection, violence usually happens because they do not know how to deal with it. Yeah, that's it's really small brain shit. It's really low IQ stuff. To your first output is to just burst into like literally lethal violence. Gotta go do the sound stuff now, folks. All right. Thank you. Thanks for coming around.
long-term
Enjoy the family.
consequences to this career. Regardless of the hurt this caused, she still decided it was best to re-enter the online arena as there was no turning back. Being Belle Delphine, though, she wasn't just going to reappear randomly online one day. There needed to be a story. So on October 7th, Belle posted what looked like a genuine
Oh yeah, the
mugshot of
arrested,
herself,
the arrested one.
accompanied by a police watermark. The tweet instantly went viral as people
Yeah,
asked two things.
someone stole her hamster.
One, was the arrest fake?
That's the story.
And two, if it was real, what did she do to get arrested? Her local police department refused to comment on the incident despite many inquiries, feeding into the internet's belief that Belle truly had gotten into trouble with the law. Feeling that the tension had gone on long enough, Belle shared the story of how she was allegedly incarcerated. As the tale goes, while holding a party at her house, the e-girl woke up the next morning to find that her hamster had been stolen by another woman who was in attendance the night before. She then reached out to the hamster stealer, but the kidnapper denied it. In retaliation, Belle graffitied the person's car, writing the words, "Bitch, give me my hamster back."
the fucking
claimed
Pepe,
this caused
the
the
Pepe
arrest,
gun
but upon
meme.
release was successfully able to get a
Oh
rodent
God,
home
what a
It wouldn't
what a
be
good
until a year
time.
later in 2020 that Belle would finally open up about how the entire
Back
thing
before
was a
Pepe
hoax
became
to
a
get people talking
hate
about her
icon.
again, after she had taken a hiatus.
It's it was fake.
The same month as the hamster incident, Belle attended the Hub Award show on October 11th. There she sported her classic pink hair and wore a Grim Reaper costume with the back of the coat reading, "I eat children." People were shocked that the extremely private individual had even attended the event, with many
That's
adult
nasty.
stars swarming the young woman asking for a photo. The internet sensation ended up winning the Top Celebrity Award for the volume of people who searched for her name on the website. It's interesting to note that she won an Adult Star Award before she filmed anything explicit. This revival would end up being short-lived, as she dipped back out of the internet life only a month later. She wasn't seen again until a fan spotted Miss Delphine out in public with her arm in a sling and foot in a cast on June 14th of 2020.
What?
This was a rare glimpse of what she looked
I mean,
like in day-to-day life.
That just looks staged. But at the same time, like, why would you be in a sling and then use your arm that's in a sling? I've had to be in a sling before. and I've also had not like a foot cast. I had like a whole cast from like not like a plaster cast, a brace. I guess it went from here all the way down to like my ankle almost when I messed my knee when I was a kid. And then when I was older, I was injured my shoulder and I had to be in a sling for a bit. And this doesn't have like, I guess it depends on the severity of an injury, but this, you don't move your arm really if you need a sling. You should kind of, but like you shouldn't.
On June 14th,
Not
of
like
2020,
this.
This was a rare glimpse of what she looked like in day-to-day life. Just a few days later, Belle returned to the internet on
Yeah,
June
see that
17th
sounds like that
with
looks
her
like a
catchy
publicity
parody of
thing.
the song Gooba by rapper Tekashi 69. The video's purpose was quite obviously to announce her return as well as promote her new TikTok and OnlyFans accounts. The announcement of OnlyFans excited her followers and led them to wonder if she would be posting something more lewd or if this was going to be another prank like the Hub account. Even with her fans' reservations, people subscribed for the high price of access.
Do you have a monthly fee right now to join your OnlyFans?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 35.
So 30. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
but-
on the. Hold on one sec. So you're on the upper echelon easily.
I was gonna say,
in
yeah,
terms of
that-
what you charge money.
That's pretty high. I know back when I was on social media, I had a couple friends who did OnlyFans and stuff like that, and usually it was like say between like $10 to $15 per month. So 35 is kind of high.
Even with this huge announcement, many fans were confused by the leaked photos of Belle injured, since only a few days later she seemed fine in the music video. The young woman took to Twitter a day after releasing her rap video to clear up these questions. Why was I gone for so long? Well, I wanted to come back earlier, but I suppose jumping off a roof into a kid's paddling pool wasn't a good idea, so I guess I had to stick with the rap video. While fans were anticipating the release of her OF
sure.
account, she uploaded another music video featuring YouTuber Dahlia Kohai with a song called Plushy Gun. Given the graphic nature of these uploads, it's not a huge surprise that Belle's YouTube account was deleted soon after.
There's like suicide ideation in it. There's a lot of sexual. I mean,
The actual
lot of
acting.
skin,
I mean, she's
lot
got
of-
a shotgun in her mouth. She's cutting her face with a razor blade.
The channel had 1.8 million subscribers, with Delphine and her
Okay,
fans
Mochi.
outraged over the outright ban.
I don't think that's too bad. I mean, Filthy Fank did the shotgun thing before. There's been tons of channels who do like especially for a music video. Seems like whatever.
And with enough fighting, her channel eventually got reinstated. In late 2020, Belle
Okay, Mochi.
decided to pull back the curtain a smidge by going on a number of podcasts that she listened to regularly, such as Cold Ones, H3, Impulsive, and the Official Podcast. Many listeners would comment
I didn't
that
know she went on
came
the Official
across as
Podcast.
much more down to
That's
earth
Charlie's
than
Moist
expected.
Criticals
While
podcast.
up until this point, viewers saw her movements online as random and unpredictable, these appearances showed the world that Belle had total control over the situation. Everything was a calculated marketing move.
So I needed to now that I was arrested, I needed to think of a crime that wouldn't make people actually hate me. So I was thinking, okay, what does everyone
British.
collectively love? Animals. Everyone
I
loves
think
animals.
Cold Ones is from
so if I
Australia.
do something bad,
These guys are basically the same people.
like on behalf of animals, people won't be like, oh, her, she did a crime.
Interestingly enough, it's here that she first admitted to being intrigued by the idea of shooting true X-rated videos.
So does that mean you're not going to be ever doing hardcore porn?
No, it doesn't.
I haven't had breakfast, so I'm gonna go take care of that. The banhammer, the banhammer is my responsibility now. I'll try my best. Like I said, from my side, it wouldn't let me. Ugh.
While fans were excited to
It's a
see
bad-
more of Belle's real
I didn't mean to have that reaction to Ethan's face.
personality, and many found her story incredibly interesting, people
Alright,
wondered
go enjoy your
why
breakfast,
she was being so
JK.
open all of a sudden.
I almost called
In
you
addition to
Zambian.
just talking to some of her favorite content creators, she started also sending out mystery boxes to anyone the e-girl admired.
Fuck, I
in
forgot this was a
space.
thing as well.
To the YouTuber Will N.E., who had previously paid for the $2,500 Patreon account, she gifted a pink Fiat with her name on it, filled with interesting presents. The most interesting items inside the car were a giant teddy bear, a donut inner tube, a custom dartboard, a pink Nerf gun, a real chainsaw, a custom condom, and allegedly a vial of her blood. To the H3 podcast, she sent a jar of her spit. She even sent
Ew.
her leg cast to the now
Ew.
deceased Too Mad from when she supposedly jumped off a roof.
Unfortunately, there's no leg in there. God damn.
Oh, Too Mad. That was I liked Too Mad back in the day. He was really funny. I thought I loved his Overwatch videos. That's back when I was in Overwatch a lot. And I lost my keeping up with him for a bit. And yeah, that's just a really sad end. It's really unfortunate. He was probably one of the funniest creators I back then.
Bell may have given the hosts of the Happy Hour podcast the best gift of all, though, and I'm not talking about the fidget spinner rectal toy. She provided them the
Excuse me, I was loving on my dog. What the fuck did you just say?
And I'm not talking about the fidget spinner rectal toy.
Oh
She
my
provided
god.
them the giant scoop that she would officially be posting hardcore pornography on her OF account.
So in my first porn video that I will ever do, where I'll show everything, I'm going to be selling the condom that we use.
No.
My God.
This was going to be a huge
Oh
jump
my
for the now 20-year-old
god,
who had
dude.
actually been
That is
fairly conservative
foul.
up until this point. However,
Yeah, I don't know. There's like people who get obsessed with their stars or the people they're, I guess, simping for, but I could never. Yeah, I don't think I could ever wrap my head around wanting to buy a prophylactic. Is that what they're called? A contraceptive, a used contraceptive. That is disgusting.
she had carefully taken several steps to get here along the way, such as posting fully nude pictures, doing her first ever girl collab photo shoot with Pixie Cat, and refusing to ever rule out hardcore scenes fully. What was interesting about Belle's decision to do this
I'm still
was the
fucking
fact
caught up
that
on
she
that.
was already making millions. There wasn't really a need for her to go all the way. Instead, Miss Delphine just wanted to keep on pushing boundaries.
I'm getting a bit bored, and I like doing everything. I like dipping my toe in every single thing.
For years, Belle had been inching closer and closer to the possibility
I forgot
of
this
filming
became a makeup style. The Belle Delphine freckle thing. I saw a lot of girls back in the day putting on fake freckles and stuff like this.
an X-rated movie.
I
But
think
something
it's
mentally
I don't know. Not to give my opinion on stuff like that. I don't really find attractive because again, it's like making yourself look younger. A lot of high cheek and nose blush, and then the freckles. It's kind of weird.
kept stopping her until she
Which
realized
he
that
agrees.
sooner or later her private videos would be leaked,
Which-
and then she would have absolutely no control over the reveal. With this rationale, Belle decided to cross the final boundary on her own terms. In true Delphine fashion, she would be releasing the explicit video on Christmas morning as a gift to her fans.
25th of December, Christmas, baby.
What a Christmas gift.
Okay.
Wow, Santa really delivered this to you.
She also toyed with the idea of launching an entire line of contraceptives called Gamer Girl Condoms to expand her business. It was none other than Mike Malak that pointed out a small problem with her business strategy, he being an expert in that sort of thing.
Do you think the payout on that condom will be worth the detriment to the scene that is wearing a condom in your first porn? Because let's be honest, nobody wants to see that.
Even though Belle was going to do an explicit video, this was not going to be like your typical adult movie. Firstly, Belle was shooting it herself and had full control over what she posted. Secondly, the man in the video would not be just some random guy.
Who are you going to be doing the porn video with?
With my partner.
There we go.
The concealed man is Belle's long-term partner that would co-star her, with the two
Oh my
having been
god, girl
together
have
before she
boyfriend?
was famous.
How long?
3 years.
3 years. So he's very much been there. And you started doing the OnlyFans stuff in the last year, 2?
I've only been doing OnlyFans since I came back to the internet for like 6 months.
Right. Okay. So he's
Yeah.
been there through the kind of like progression of.
I hate this accent,
He's been there
dude.
pretty much from the beginning.
I know I
was
keep going
there
back to this,
before
but
my name was Belle Delphine.
If
What?
what Belle is saying
God.
is true, that means she met this man when she was 17 because she didn't become Belle Delphine until she turned 18.
I know something that you've talked about, and obviously you're still evolving as an entertainer, because you said you've been with your partner for like 3 years now. And wait, is that correct?
Honestly, I don't know.
All right. Well,
like 3-4
okay.
years. I
So we'll
know.
say 3-4 years.
It is also interesting to point out that if Belle started dating this partner in 2017, it lines up with the time she was stealing girls' nudes and posting them as her own to make money with the help of an older man, though I have no way of knowing if this is the same individual. What we do know about this partner is that he's at least a few years her senior. Belle refers to him as daddy, with him going everywhere with her, relying on him to cook, clean, and shop.
What are the gaps that are being filled in there?
That was a really popular thing back then, was girls calling their partner daddy. And I never got behind that one either. That one seemed a little gross. Yeah, it's pretty good. I saw one there was one someone little a joking video about a situation like that, but the girl was like, I guess she didn't understand, or maybe like the boyfriend in that skit was telling her to like do, like, I guess refer to him as that, but she didn't know that the whole daddy thing was supposed to be sexual, so she just kept referring to him as father. Like during the act. He's like, fuck me, father, and he's like, no, don't do that. it was really funny.
Like, he will drive me everywhere. He does like the shopping and all, like the obviously the counting and taxes and stuff, and he'll like help me like cook food for myself.
It's clear these two have an odd dynamic that's shrouded in mystery. YouTuber and known domestic abuser I Am Alex once attempted to reveal his identity.
What?
I forgot about this dude.
What do you mean she's got a boyfriend? Oh, I can't do
this dude. I might review a video on this guy too. This guy's he's really abusive to his. They're facing with the brick on stream in front of everybody, and then was surprised that he got caught.
This video anymore then?
However, Belle denied this, and no one else has really been
He's also British.
Disgusting
subhumans.
Outright.
Through
my
British
search,
people so
I was able
much?
to uncover a man's name.
What I like them.
Name attached to Belle's business and some other information through linking together social media pages. But I'm at a point that I don't think it's pertinent to the story at hand, so I'll just leave that research on the cutting room floor. The official reason Belle gives for keeping her partner's identity private is that if her viewers could put a face to the man in her videos, it would ruin the girlfriend fantasy she's selling.
Like just this less,
because it can put them off when they see their face. I just want him to be in
an
a
object.
non-demeaning way, a kind of
object.
Yeah.
And with that, she stuck to her word and released her first ever hardcore scene on Christmas. If her goal was to make a lot of money quickly, this ended up being
that is fucking scary. Those like glitching people, or those glitching dolls.
In the first 7 minutes her first video launched. Making $5 million in the first 7 minutes her first.
Oh my god. $5 million in 7 minutes? No, they said that when she released her first actual adult scene, that it made $5 million in the first 7 minutes after. That is an insane amount of money so quickly. I tried my hardest to push this for existence out of my life. Yeah, they've been posting some interview scenes from. I had brought up that she made herself look younger to people, kind of certain creep.
A lot of them.
Yeah, well, no. I think she was the one that kind of started the whole thing.
first video launched. Despite the intense cash flow, Belle admitted to allowing the hate to bother her and feeling vulnerable.
You know, everyone's got their insecurities. I want to be seen in the best light, and I think that does take away from it because it comes across as not entirely genuine.
Not only was she
Appreciate it,
getting
though.
comments online, but Belle's mother was also disturbed by the content her daughter was now posting. It turns out her mom stopped talking to her over it and has still not fully mended the relationship.
I'm surprised
to
they
this
were
very day.
talking
Even
to
more
begin with.
intriguing is that Belle
That seems like something that probably would have got broken off way early on, especially with how she was being suggestive. And like I said, she was trying to appease to like an older demographic while making herself look younger. Even if you're like an absent mother, she's, like they said earlier on, she struggled with alcohol. I mean, probably have some moral issues there. But that seems like a really, really hard thing to stick around in someone's life when they're doing something like that.
Understands why her parent reacted poorly and she wouldn't want her own children to be in sex work.
She wasn't at first, which I don't blame her at all. It's not a good thing for your child to do. I wouldn't want my children to do it.
Looking back on her first video, Belle admits to cringing and hating the way it turned out. There was so much pressure for her to release this first scene, leaving her unhappy as a result and wanting to redo the entire thing if she could. Despite her sadness, during this time she also engaged in a competition with YouTuber Moist Critical. The two of them were quickly buying up every available adult toy to add to
This
their
is the thing that JK said earlier.
recognized for the world record of largest phallic device collection. Despite her plethora of risque publicity stunts on the internet up until this point, Belle was still not done pushing the limits. In previous interviews, the OnlyFans actress hinted at how she wasn't able to post her kinks online because she knew that many people were not into them and wouldn't find it interesting.
I have like kinks and stuff that I won't show on the internet or whatever, just because like I know people aren't just into it. I know it's just me who's into it.
However, in 2021, she took a sexual exploratory risk that landed her in trouble with many on the World Wide Web. It all started on January 12th when Belle tweeted out an image of herself with a gag over her mouth and her hands tied in the back of an unmarked van. She then wrote, "My perfect first date." This image was a promotion for her OnlyFans content involving a scene of her being assaulted in the woods.
I remember this too because this got a humongous backlash. Yeah, it kind of what to say now. Moss Eater, I guess I'll just read this. Trigger warning: kidnapping and R-word roleplay. I know not everyone knows this, but the fact that this month alone is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and she's promoting this disgusting shit with a huge platform to her pedo followers is absolutely concerning and dangerous. Yeah, this got like this in my social media sphere. This was kind of the moment where a lot of people turned on her because it was really bad. It was really, really bad. Even like I went to this time I went to 4chan because I know that like they said a lot of her followers were on 4chan and they were obsessed with her. I went there and even a surprising amount of people there and some of the forums were saying that this was kind of weird and they didn't really like it. Like again, 4chan it can be a really, really shitty place. But to see that they kind of had like similar opinions on how this was a little too not up their alley. It was interesting seeing the backlash from.
Instantly, she was criticized for fetishizing assault and kidnapping. What made it even worse was this was during Human Trafficking Awareness Month. With the added attention on her name, more people online began claiming that Belle promotes pedophilia with her childlike clothes and playing with kids' toys. It wasn't the first time Belle had been slammed for her aesthetic, but clearly it got to the young woman this time around, who released a string of tweets defending her actions. "I'm not sorry. Here's why. There is nothing wrong with enjoying power play in BDSM, where both people are consensual. I think saying because I enjoy consensual non-consent is promoting rape is the same as the argument that violence in video games promotes violence. I felt like dressing vintage that day and even styled my hair in a beehive that was very common for women of the time.
Yeah, I think an issue with that part though is you can say consensual, non-consensual. I know some people are into that. That's yet another thing. Because okay, it didn't actually fuck up. Take my mic out. That was gonna plug it again. But with this, again, you can say the comparison. What I'm trying to say, the comparison of saying that it's like saying video games and like video game violence causes real life violence. They kind of take away with that is that this, especially given the context, the time going on, was that it was real, right? It was real life, and they did something during a time where it was like made to bring awareness to a very serious subject, and then she posted something in the manner of the thing they're trying to bring awareness to. Now if she, like, it's kind of like saying like, oh, like I dressed up as a Columbine kid during like right after a mass shooting or something. It's kind of like a really poor taste. So I think this argument's kind of dumb.
All the clothes I wear are made for adults, so the only thing that people can comment on is the fact that I'm wearing a cute dress. It's very confusing for me since I see other people dress like it all the time. If it's about how I genetically look, I can't change that, and I will not apologize for it either. Nor will I stop being sexual since I am a sexually active adult.
And that's another thing back there, saying that how she genetically looks. She doesn't look like, she looks like an adult, and she photoshops herself down, and of course like wears makeup and fake braces to make herself look younger. So that's a nothing argument. She's trying to deflect.
For it either. Nor will I stop being sexual since I am a sexually active adult. Whether Belle was genuinely pissed off for being criticized or merely feeding into the drama, it worked perfectly for her brand. Everyone was discussing her actions, thrusting her name into the internet spotlight.
You are a real person, Belle, and people know that you're a real person. And seeing that, people are like, oh, this is what women like.
My perfect first date with a series of not safe for work pictures of her tied up in a van, tied up, pushed against a tree.
Despite the rebuttal, she would end up deleting her tweets and disappearing from the internet once again, this time for 14 months.
That doesn't surprise me. Also, I didn't remember this until I saw those pictures just now. I talked about how I went on 4chan when all this was going on and how they didn't really vibe with it very well. I actually ended up seeing those pictures on 4chan. Like they had dumped all the pictures from like that photo shoot, and it was weird. I didn't like that at all.
She returned during the viral Johnny Depp trial where she pretended to be Amber Heard and also ate a light bulb, although of course it wasn't real. Further, she promised her simp army more OnlyFans content starting on May 1st of 2022. She didn't let her fans down as she began posting content with people other than the masked man. In June, Belle collabed with fellow model Tayzia. This woman became popular for her Dungeons & Dragons cosplay, matching Belle's brand. The two of them posted themselves in compromising positions while wearing matching lingerie. It was around this time that many people believed Belle and her partner may have broken up. The reason for this being that the young woman only posted solo images, leading to disappointment as they became accustomed to racier scenes. Do any autistics remember the last photo of them actually together? It would explain the boring comeback and zero marketing genius style epic troll trademark antics to get everyone's attention. The creativity dried up. In fact, it would explain why her OF seems exclusively just nudes and solo stuff now. Fueling these rumors was when Belle denied being secretly married. On top of this, Belle would go on to collab with several different male YouTubers, posing for photos in a sexual manner while plugging her OnlyFans. In June of 2022, she posted
I forgot about the two mad collab.
sent viewers into a spiral as they truly believed that the two were sleeping together. Making the pairing even more controversial were the outfits they wore. Too Mad was dressed in a gorilla costume, which many accused of being purposefully racist.
That's. I mean, it's him doing it to himself. So, like, if you call it racism, it's like you're trying to lecture a black man on being racist, or you're trying to lecture a black man on what racism is. It's not a good thing to try to do. Like, I'm pretty sure he understands what he's doing. Also, this seems like a theme: Princess Peach and Donkey Kong. I mean, earlier on, Mario before like the Super Mario, but like when it was like Jumpman or Donkey Kong, you were saving the princess from Donkey Kong. I guess this makes sense. I don't think this is racist at all.
How the internet responded to this, as she dropped a parody music video soon after. In November, Belle was next seen with musician Oliver Tree.
Damn,
the
I
two
need
of
to
them
fucking
took pictures together
listen to
as
I
well as
listen to everything.
filmed odd TikToks that caused the internet to believe Belle was now with Oliver. Next, she teamed up with the streamer Finster. The pair recreated a popular
Oh my
meme
god,
and
I forgot
even
about
allegedly
Finster.
kissed, although those pictures were never posted. The event that would truly get her OnlyFans numbers up again
Over and top. Inexperienced funny how to be well.
is when she would have her first ever threesome, marking the return of her masked boyfriend, along with adult star Mia Malkova. This occurred on May 2nd of 2023.
I've never
and
heard of this
despite
person
her partner
before.
being involved, many noted that he did not actually touch the other woman during the filming. It's clear Belle and her partner have some pretty firm boundaries for where they draw lines. With
Those OnlyFans has only ever slept with one. Wants to be a trad wife, but only can cook microwave. Is borderline retarded because she dropped out of school at age 14. That's true. That's real. Wrote a 52-page written revenge plot against someone in 2023. Can you fix her? I mean, saying that you want to be a trad wife and doing OnlyFans as your job makes sense. Being retarded and dropping out of school at an early age definitely tracks with the trad wife thing. At least historically, maybe.
her even going so far as to say that he is the only man she has ever slept with.
Sorry, historically preferred.
Despite minor gripes, most of her paying fans were pleased with her stepping over another line in what she was willing to post online. Moving forward to the present day, Miss Delphine has certainly done her best to keep people talking, though it's become increasingly difficult for the adult star to draw the same headlines as during her bathwater heyday. In April of 2024, she released a life-size doll of herself, which came shipped in a pink sparkly coffin and sported a pair of her used underwear. Despite the provocative nature of this product,
Real?
it didn't
I guess, yeah, I hadn't kept up with her, but like I didn't know anything about this.
receive anywhere near the attention of her stunts of years past. And that is one of the biggest things I've noticed while researching this video. As time has gone on, her relevance has slowly waned, as you can tell by looking at Google Trends metrics. But I haven't really seen anyone break down why this is. Well, I have a few theories. For one, I feel the moment she started doing hardcore videos, a lot of intrigue was gone now that the cat was out of the bag.
Yeah, that's another big thing. I kind of figured she fell off was like once you break the illusion, like, you know, you can't really go anywhere from there. When you have the illusion still, you can still play and tiptoe around it, and that builds it builds the suspense. But as soon as, you know, you cross the line, you know, there's only so much you can see of the same thing. And that's probably why a lot of people stop following. That, and she also has a tendency of leaving the internet for, you know, a year plus at a time, which also kind of kill your relevancy.
Literally. The teasing of her doing adult content kept people engaged with the story for years. Once she crossed that line, people lost interest. Sure, she may have made a lot of money when she filmed the scene, but since she isn't the best shooting adult videos, which she admits herself, people quickly got bored. On top of this, Belle going on all those podcasts completely destroyed her persona. What was once this weird character...
Don't fucking do that to the octopus, dude. Those are like intelligent creatures.
Where no one knew where fiction ended and reality began, and now became a real woman who admitted it was all an act. The saddest part is, I don't think she had anything to gain by going on these shows besides chatting with creators who she was a fan of herself.
I mean, that's a publicity thing. She came back. She wanted attention on her, so she went to all the biggest, the bigger podcasts to kind of promote, like, to get word out there that she's back. Whether people stopped following her, or maybe that there was audiences that weren't a part of her, or knew who she was. Like, that's a way to garner attention. Outside of that, like I said, like, once you break the illusion, there's not really there's only so many places you can go. You find out that girl has girl parts and like, tits and ass. It's gonna be the same thing across the board.
It would have been best to stay as secretive as possible. Finally, now that Belle is in her mid-20s...
And that's actually... Fuck, I know I'm pausing a lot in this past, like, 2 minutes. But with that, I feel like that's why, like, VTubers are so successful right now, is because, you don't know what they look like. And there's always that joke that every VTuber is a 500-pound man who, uses voice changers to make themselves sound like, 14-year-old girls. And VTubers are super successful because you don't know anything about them, really. You know their model, but you don't know what they look like. You don't know anything about them, and that kind of adds a lot of mystique to them, and that draws a lot of people in because you want to know something that you don't know, and if you don't get to know, you're just going to keep watching.
The aesthetic she became famous for just doesn't work as well as when she was 19. She doesn't look like a teenager anymore, and Belle even admits that if she was still doing this at 30, it would become pretty weird.
Yeah.
All that said, she has made millions of dollars and can retire whenever she wants. And at the end of the day, I think she's approached making adult content the least degenerate way possible. Hear me out. She has always made content on her own terms without any sort of pimp coercing or profiting off of the videos. When she did decide to make hardcore content, it was with her spouse, which she says is the only man she has ever had sex with. And with all the money made, she bought herself and her mother nice houses in the British countryside, while avoiding the drugs and tax evasion seen by a lot of the other women in the space. With the help of a partner to generate ideas with, a deep understanding of internet culture, and her...
And, in Reg, like, at the time, especially, like I said, being bombarded with the stuff on Facebook and Twitter back when I used that, I hated seeing this because, like, me, I'm not a person who is hypersexual. I don't see everything like that. And so this all, it always annoyed me. And I thought it was really degenerate shit at the time, but little did I know in just a few years when OnlyFans got more popular, and now it's like it's a race to the bottom, right? We're already in hell and we're trying to dig lower on that website. There's like who is it? I want to watch more on this woman. She absolutely disgusts me, but it's like I'm interested in how disgusting it is. It's so fucking weird. This woman, she broke the world record. She had sex with like 1,200 men in a single day, I think was the number. And I don't like logistically, I don't know how that happened. How can you do that? I remember back in the day when the world record was first set, I watched like a little mini YouTube, I don't know if it was YouTube documentary. I watched a little documentary on the woman, and she had slept with like 900 something men in a single day. And even for that to happen, like it was like racing the clock. And so I don't know how this woman added 300 on top of that number, but there's that woman who did that. There's another woman who I don't know if it's the same woman or not. Again, I haven't really looked into these people. I just kind of I just kind of saw some like random article about it where there's one again, I don't know if it's the same woman or not, but there's one woman who had to get reconstructive surgery on her asshole because she tried doing like butt stuff with like I think like 50 or 100 people in one single day, and it blew her backside out, and she had to get like surgery to fix to shove it all back in there. It's like fucking, like I said, we're in hell, and they're still trying to dig their way down. It's crazy. What the hell did it just come back to? You came back to like the perfect time. We're talking.
don't want to know.
They're going over how even though she did OnlyFans and stuff like that, it wasn't actually that degenerate. And I was just explaining like back when I was like experiencing this thing in real time, like I thought it was degen shit, and little did I know it wasn't as bad as I thought. 900, those are rookie numbers. Yeah, you're totally right.
Perfectly coinciding with the rise of OnlyFans, everything in her story was a recipe for a lucrative yet fleeting online career. Despite the edgelord persona, in reality, Belle Delphine might just be the most wholesome name in adult entertainment.
I don't know about the most wholesome name, but definitely now looking back, it's not as bad as it was. Not nearly as bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad now. It's trying not to listen to my poor innocent ears. Yeah, it's bad. It's really fucking bad. I know there's the big beef between the two OnlyFans. I think one of them was Australian. And she got kicked out of Australia because like she was being a degenerate to yeah, it was really bad. She got kicked out of the country. Like I think she caught some federal charges and they just like kicked her out. They're like, yeah, what, literally a nuisance to our good name. They exported her. Exporting means that, yeah, her and another girl have like a competition going on, which like literally, like I said, the race to the bottom. And they constantly try to one up each other. Like one slept with 500 men in one day, and then like a day or two later, like the other one broke that record. And then it's been back and forth, like who can be the worst person ever. My cat's got some cool emotes, and I'm stuck using the lame vanilla ones. Yeah. I mean, she has them from. I think she has them from other channels. I've been kind of thinking about some of the stuff if I actually want to keep streaming. I don't know how consistent it would be, but like I looked at the you can see up there, I have the stream manager open, or the clips manager, but I have 4 level 1, like tier 1 slots open, and I might send someone to make some stuff for that. I think I'm definitely gonna make one of Mochi, my dog. He tends to sit on my lap when I do this. Or also Sushi. He does the same thing. He's more quiet though. And then I don't know what else besides those, but those are kind of my 2 ideas for those right now. But yeah, this I think I went into this trying to figure out what happened to her. We went to the journey. What is she doing now? Is she still just doing OnlyFans? She like quit. They kind of said at the end that she's getting too old to keep up the young girl appearance. We need another monkey emote. You're so right. We need a gorilla. We need a gorilla emote. Yeah, definitely interesting to see what happened to her. Co-host Mochi needs one. Yeah, she does. I'm totally okay with giving Mochi her own emote. It's very much necessary. Maybe put like a little speech bubble of her that's just a snort. Yeah, Gamer from Mars did a pretty good video on this. There's a lot of shit here that I didn't know. There's a lot of stuff I did know, but I don't know. I still don't like her. It's just I don't like OnlyFans people. I don't like people in that genre. It's not. Usually, it's nothing against the profession. Usually, it's against the person because you don't go into OnlyFans, right? You don't join that community, especially like the adult SFW community. I had to think about the acronym. You typically don't go into that community if you're a good person, right? that's my problem with I had with Twitch. Back when I kind of fell off with Twitch, I stopped streaming. It was partially because I was getting shit from, I had gotten like a talking to. I got a message from one of the Twitch mods saying that, like, you know, if you keep using the language you're using, I wasn't even using bad language, like I was just saying, you know, cuss words and stuff, that it could eventually violate terms of service. And I got mad because, like, I went on the just chatting page, and there's like a bunch of girls like in tubs or swimming pools showing as much skin as possible, like as little clothes as possible, and these people were totally fine, and I got really mad about that. And then one thing I didn't really think of at the time was that a lot of these creators on Twitch, like Amaranth, or who's the one? She got wrapped up in the super mega drama, the Morgpie. She, like, they go on Twitch, right? They stream on Twitch. They get attention from, you know, primarily younger demographics, right? You know, there's typically not, you know, 30, 40. Can you stop that? There's typically not like 30, 40, 50-year-olds on Twitch, right? It's usually young kids. And then they drive that traffic to their OnlyFans, which is really predatory, and I don't like that. That's my issue. Not all of them are like that, obviously, but that's, like I said, we're in a race to the bottom. Markiplier OnlyFans. I forgot Markiplier did an OnlyFans. His was, you know, like, he did the quote tasteful nudes. He didn't actually show full nudity. It was like suggestive stuff. Mochi is demanding play. It. She has her bone. She loses it all the time when she finds it. She gets successful. Yeah, go check out Gamer from Mars if you want the video. Have to go through and watch some more stuff of his. Also, his OnlyFans was for charity. Yeah, that was another thing. Is like he didn't keep it. He didn't keep the money for the. I know I had the calendar. I had bought it for the charity, and then like pretty much immediately threw it away because I didn't want it. I mean, it was like $20. I'm sure. I'm sure so many people bought that it was worthless. Maybe if he only sold like 10 of them, I could have probably resold it. But no, I don't like reselling stuff like that. Yeah, pretty good video. I think I'm gonna start. Might upload this. I know I'm doing a dual stream. I don't know if this gets saved on YouTube, or I have to try. Just like download it from Twitch and upload it there. I don't know. Wolfie says, "Bitch, I'm bitch." It sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get some sleep. I gotta maybe try and get like an hour nap before I have to get up and start doing more things and then get back to bed. Mom is demanding cuddles, so. All right, yeah. Maybe sometime this week, if I find another interesting video I want to go over, or if I want to play a game or something. I don't know. Like I said, I was trying this out. This is a new format for me. Is this technically reaction? Yeah. I mean, I kind of liked it. It's kind of like you learning stuff and also getting to just like sit down and talk. It's pretty nice. I see why it's popular. Good night. Yeah, good night to you, JK. Okay. The psychological, yeah, that was kind of fun for me because I was like, ooh, I know all these things now. Like, my wife talks about this stuff all the time. so I was like, I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm not a blibbering idiot this time. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. Enjoy your day, JK. Okay. Mom says bye. I don't know if you could hear that or not. I wasn't looking to see if the mic picked it up.